Yo, what's good, people? How you doing?
Remember all the happy times we had?
Hope you're all doing well. Masters by Iggy first. How you doing, Tom? Welcome back, dude. Saf, thank you so much. I do appreciate the support. Always good having you here, dude. Good morning, Heidi. Is that Vegemite? Chef John Reed. Oh my gosh, that is priceless. Guess who made another track today? All right, so Tom, I take it you're inspired by trinkets. They resonate with you as sounds. That's good because I think I'm gonna cook up volume 2 on the show here this month. I've been thinking about it, and I think it's about time. Pretty much the day after, or maybe a couple of days after I originally released it, I started getting emails from people asking when the next one was coming out. I don't know what it is about those, but people freaking love them. Chocal, welcome back, dude. How are you? Hey, Heidi. Saf is saying, OhmLab, thank you for supporting me throughout the years. Dude, you bet, man. Of course. It's been fun watching you grow. What's up, Zamerits? How are you doing, dude? Sunnyish Maryland. Hello, Paul. It is almost entirely sunny Portland. Top of the day to you. Seth says, OhmLab, I felt like I leveled up so drastically. You have, dude. When you first... dude, when you first started doing sessions with me, you had such a great, unique sound in the music that you were putting out, but you didn't have a deeper understanding of how to arrive at things with intention, and like along your way on that path, you've kind of unlocked how your sound works. And I think that's a pretty profound and amazing thing. I mean, seriously, regardless of where you go with music and sound forever, that is one of the best things you will ever unlock. Truly. Heidi, I found this emote like a week ago, wanted to subscribe just to get it, and some stranger gave me a free subscription, so now I have it. That's awesome. It's a really great emote. Isn't that one of the coolest things about Twitch? Is that people can just kick you a sub. I love it. All right, so you've tried Vegemite and Marmite, and you see how other people like it, but not your go-to breakfast, right? It's a classic ad in the UK. Huh. No, Zamerits, I can safely inform you that Marmite and Vegemite are not staples here. Yeah, it doesn't make it past the nose test for a lot of people. They look at it, they're like, and then they smell it, and they're like, I'm not sure about that. So, Tom, are we going to get to hear this track today? Oh, and you know, Saf, I just saw you in my inbox looking for some feedback. Is that feedback that you want on the show, or do you want it private? Paul just made Arturia $100 richer. That's awesome. That's so kind of you, Paul. You know they struggle. Very much so. Well, I'm glad that those sounds resonate with you so much, Tom. That makes me happy. Yeah, do tell, Paul. What did you get? FX Collection version 2 crossgrade. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, tell me what you think of all the updates. Oh, Charcal. Looking for some feedback, making a track for our Armada contest. Want to show? Absolutely, dude. You can drop a link here in the chat, or you can do the Discord route if you want people to get ears and eyes on it between the streams. You're thinking about getting a sound engineering degree. Worth it or better just to study at home? Well, it depends on where exactly you want to go in the industry. If you want to continue doing your own thing remotely, through the years, um, you could accomplish it at home. I would highly recommend going the mentorship route though, and not trying to piecemeal it together through YouTube or whatever. I would, and online courses are great too. Like I don't see much of a difference nowadays. I mean, there's the social aspect, and there is the hands-on face-to-face time and office hours with instructors and whatnot on a campus. Maybe some exposure to gear. But by and large, everything is so software driven nowadays, and schedules being what they are, you can sometimes get a better experience online even. Anyway, regardless, it is possible to do it on your own if that's kind of where you're seeing your future going. If you would like to be in the studio and doing all of this stuff, then that becomes a bit more important. I mean, a lot of it does have to do with who you know and who you get to know, but going and getting a degree somewhere does open some doors for you in the physical world, like in the brick and mortar world, and it can make entries easier. That said, a lot of these, like a lot of the traditional studio space, has kind of evaporated in the world. So I would take a good long look, like take your time and figure out exactly what you think your ideal would be, like your day to day. Like where would you actually be sitting? Would you be commuting to a studio and working for, a big company or a small label, or would you be running things, or do you find it more appealing to not have a commute and to, work at your whim? You know what I mean? Because there's definitely upsides to both. Hey, Samaris, welcome back, dude. A week's holiday to Ireland, huh? How was it? Yeah, as Paul is pointing out, I agree. Education always worth it. And I think that education doesn't end if you're pursuing a passion anyway. And regardless of where you're getting education, as long as you keep ingesting, you'll be great. You already have great ears. You're a good producer. You've obviously got passion and drive. Paul says, only took one class in using a recording studio, and look at me. That's awesome. Yeah, it's funny. Tom, I just saw your message. It's already on the Discord, so that's cool. Um, yeah, I will say that I feel very lucky and honored to have had the opportunities that I've had, and being able to teach at the college level and to have sat in a whole bunch of different studios, worked with really great people, and all of this, on the sound design side of things, which is where so much of the passion has been for like the past 20 years for me, is fairly unique because, a lot of the stuff that I've gone into and even helped innovate in some cases, like there was nothing that I could have gone to school for at that point for those things. Just so much of it didn't really exist, right? Like, I mean, there were all sorts of audio degrees that you could go get, but none of them were actually what I was hoping to be doing. So you can do a lot without those pieces of paper in the beginning. But you've got to, I think, be proactive in your immersion and like your intake of knowledge and experience. I think you have to really chase the kind of experiences that you want to make it all happen. All right, so Tom and Charles Cal, I will get you guys both here in just a minute. Tom says, I came from one of the best audio schools in your personal opinion. What school did you go to, Tom? Charcal, you're doing all of this in your free time. Well, I will say that your sound is really, really great for this being a free time endeavor, you know? And if you were to dedicate yourself to this thing entirely, it'd be, I'm sure it'd be a great path for you. Damien and crew, serving a party of 21. Welcome. How you guys doing? We're just getting started here. We're going to do a little bit of feedback for a couple people, and then we're going to dig in and transform this gate sound, which Damien was playing with on his stream. So great. So great. I'm so impressed with the video and audio on phones these days. It's absolutely awesome. So we'll mangle that thing a few different ways. And you know what? Maybe we will even slice some sounds out of it that we will use for new source layers for the upcoming trinkets follow-up. Everybody loves trinkets. By the way, for those who just arrived, if you are currently subbed to the channel, make sure you hit the Discord and grab your free sound pack this month because it is sprinkles. No, sorry, trinkets, not sprinkles. My bad. Yeah, Paul, Arturia does just get it. You are absolutely right. Samaritz, it's awesome to hear that you had such a great break and new field recordings. I want to hear some. Did you capture them all in Ireland? Yeah, and don't forget about the Found Sounds room on the Discord that we've just added. So while you're walking around in the world, pull out your phone or whatever you have to record sounds with and capture stuff. You can take video clips too if you like and toss them all in there, and we will use them all. We will find ways to use them. I have some ideas percolating for a really cool series that we can build up for our dedicated subscribers. The sounds that are coming in from the community can be transformed into contact instruments and then redistributed back into the community. I'm thinking that there's going to be some fun in this. Ooh, Paul, right here. All of my formal teachers of music since Mrs. Hallis piano class at 7 have implanted themselves in me one way or another. Yeah, I feel that. What's up, Goofer? How you doing, man? Good to have you here. What's up, Guy? Welcome back. Thanks again, Damien, for the raid. You're fantastic. What's up, Andremia? Blyout Cricket, I do believe this one was from you, right? And you are Tom as well, correct? I'm trying to keep track of this between the channels. Paul. Oh, Liv is here. Cardiac Records in the house. Ooh, very nice guy. All right, so before we dig into the gate. grab a little sage. All right, we're gonna head over to the Discord. I'm gonna get rid of this music really quick. And we'll do a little feedback for these guys. Who else is, oh, hey, by the way, answer this question, damn it. What are some of your favorite sampling tricks and techniques? I'd like to get a little sub-thread going here. See what people are doing right now. Who else out there is feeling rather inspired by trinkets? And do you think that I should make another volume this month? All right, so it looks like Tom posted first. All right, so this one is from Tom, Masters by Iggy in the chat, and it's called Sneeze. I think we have some more trinkets in here. All right. So Tom, I hope you don't take offense to this. But are you capable of making bad music? Like, do you only make really good stuff? Is that just how it works? This is great. I have no idea how you're going to pick what you submit. Maybe you submit them all. I think it is going to be an album. I think everyone else is going to turn in a track, and you're going to turn in like a 14-track album. It's amazing, dude. It's a lovely palette. It's awesome. And how the hell are you going to figure out? I don't know. I think everyone else is going to have to play catch up for the rest of this month at this point. What is this, like 4 or 5 tracks or something we're already up to? More trinkets. Made a similar style beat to the Tricata beat battle I made and used trinkets to get the little 1/32 stuff. Mixed on IM, so it might not have the greatest. It's really nice, man. And Tremia, damn you, just make bad music. Saf, tension sound for a horror scene. Is that what you sent over? I will look. I will add that to the feedback list if you like, dude. Volume 2 to 10. Oh, I'm tracking you now, Tom. I read this comment like twice. I'm like, what is he referring to? And you're referring to what I'm talking about. Trinkets, volume 2 through 10. Wait, okay, hold on a second. There's the Heidi is saying there's this sound I can make. It's where you lick your index finger and put the back of the opposite hand against your cheek, leave your mouth open, pop the index finger out from the webbing of your of your index and middle finger, it makes a loud pop sound, high-pitched chirp. But my fingers are too long to do this right now. That's so random. Guy says, I can't imagine a song where found sounds can't elevate it. Yeah. Yeah. Paul is saying, can't remember if I teased you guys yet with what I'm doing to trinkets. Guess I can make a clip and post. Please do, Paul. Guy saying, in my head, using a pack shaker drum machine shaker instead of found sound is the equivalent of not EQing your reverb. Tom, okay, cool. If you throw away a lot of tracks, then I'm sure that's making some people feel a little bit better about Seriously, though, everything that you bring here is gold. So I hope that all of the stuff that you've brought here gets finished at some point and not thrown away. Goofer, Trinkets is a sound pack. It's a very popular sound pack of mine. It's layered hybrid Foley sounds, and all subscribers get it free this month. It's been out for probably close to a year, something like that, and it's super popular. Oh, Guy, you always have to read Guy's comments all the way through to the end, to the very last word. Paul, that's the fun thing. You just employ children or the elderly to make you custom shakers with candy or medication. Oh, holy hell. What's up, Ricky? Trance in Your Pants is here. That's awesome. Oh, man. Oh, Dan Aykroyd. Ooh, actually finishing stuff. Well, Tom, eventually you're going to crack that and you're going to finish all these things. Yeah, Merits, we can do another one. All right, so next up is Charles Kell. This one is called Sweet Bounce.
Make that bounce, make it bounce, make that bounce, make it bounce, make that bounce.
All right, so that was awesome. I like this. I'm liking the whole vibe, the entirety of it. At 23 seconds, that synth, that initial synth, it feels a little flat. I feel like some more dimension is required because there's so much depth in the track at that point. Like it's a fairly immersive, low end, soothing thing. And then that comes in and it feels like it's just like two-dimensional in this three-dimensional space. 109, that bass, I would touch, I would accent the mids just a touch, mid-band or multi-band compression. And it would be kind of cool to mod the shape of this thing or maybe put like a second modulator on the filter. So there's one long form running changes in position of the filter cutoff, and then you've also got, you know, your main filter control on there as well. Dr. Drop, thank you so much for the follow. And Tom Flow Cricket, thank you for the follow. 150, I think that snare needs to be more present. I get that it's not traditional snare sound, but I think it needs to have just maybe a touch of harmonics generated over 5K, something like that, around 5K. It'll probably pop a little bit better. Probably don't need to do much more than that. And I'm loving the delay that you went with on those hand drums. It's nice. Dr. Drop, it's totally fine. You can also drop in chat or on the Discord. All right, so this one is from Zamertz. All right, dude, this is good. It's a really cool blend of like retro and fairly modern morphing. It's pretty cool. By the 1 minute mark, I think I would recommend increasing the low end presence just a bit more. Even if it's like some kind of undulation or periodic, peekabooing of the low end. So be it. I just think that the low end is just gonna like pull the listener in even more, right? It's just gonna make them lose their grip. Really nice use of sides with those vocal chops. I would modulate the volume of the field recordings and Atmos so they can both have a little bit more separation at times. They like each one can get a little bit more attention. The Vox, the vocal pad at 215-ish, I could kind of feel it becoming a little bit monotonous at this point, instead of hypnotic. So I'm thinking some really like choice and well-placed subtle stutters, delays, glitches, something like that. Just a little bit of something to remind people that like you're in control. Just to increase the interest, draw some more ears in on it. I think that's what I got for you on that one. It's good stuff. No, Saf, you're up next if it's the track that's in my inbox. Sign out. What's up, dude? Welcome back. Yeah, you are always welcome to drop something for feedback. Absolutely. Drop it in the chat here or in Discord, inbox, whatever. Okay. Samaritz is saying, interested to know what the width is like. I got a few comments that it was too wide, but I wasn't sure. I thought it was okay. And I would say it's better enjoyed in stereo, I suppose, as long as it doesn't get killed in mono. Yeah, I mean, anything that's really spacious is going to get killed in mono. I mean, there's no real getting away from that. But I think most people listen in stereo, especially that type of music. And I think it sounds good. I think it sounds good. I think you had a really nice boundary for the vocals that were way out there on the sides. Yeah, it does have a bit of the Boards of Canada thing. Yeah. I can absolutely hear some voiceover stuff, dude. Some spoken word stuff. I think Nick is onto something here, Samaritz. Yeah. Always good to move stuff around volume-wise. Cool. Okay. All right. So next up is Saf. Okay. Elsuv pipe zone. Away we go.
It must be this way. One day you will understand. You must try to remember me and your true self as well. It must be this way. One day you will understand. try to remember me and your true self as well. It must be this way. One day you will understand why. You must try to remember me and your true self as well. It must be this way. One day you will understand why. You must try to remember me and your true self as well. It must be this way. One day you will understand why. You must try to remember me and your true self as well. It must be this way. One day you will understand why. You must try to remember me and your true self as well. It must be this way. One day you will understand why. You must try to remember me and your true self as well. It must be this way. One day you will understand why. You must try to remember me and your true self as well. It must be this way. One day you will understand why.
All right. Really, really good. All right, so I'd had a very small fade at the very beginning just because the Atmos felt just a bit abrupt to come in at that level. Man, I went back and forth on this. I'm not exactly sure on this. I feel like there needs to be greater separation between the three main elements: the bass, the vocal, and the Atmos. So I think you need to scoop a little bit out of the middle of the atmosphere to remove some of that conflict, or reduce some of that conflict with the vocals. You'll be able to hear with greater clarity the vocals, but the vocals need a bit of an EQ accent on the mids. And it's kind of tough to say with it buried a bit right now, because that it makes it seem probably a little bit lower in register than it actually is. But you could do this a couple of different ways. You could accent the mid-range between like 6 and 900, something like that, and add an overdrive boost, no real gain, but add a frequency target of 4.5K approximately. And you would definitely boost your clarity and get it sitting above that atmosphere, which I think is kind of important at this point, just for the clarity. That said, it shouldn't come up too much in loudness, because man, does it pull you in to have to focus on that voice and what she's saying, and then you kind of can't get away from it. It's like freaking mind control. It's pretty cool. I would definitely play a little bit with the listener and maybe introduce a second verb. So you have a nested reverb situation, right? This small one that she's rocking right now. And then every once in a while, maybe let some delay tails and bleed out into like a really big expansive reverb, and then have that kind of crossfade out. And I think that would be kind of cool. The other thing that I would do is kind of mess with the listener a little bit and actually modulate over a really long period of time, like 30, 40, 50 bars. Not just loudness, not just a volume change, but some pan position changes too. Nothing sudden. Slow enough to make someone wonder if it really is moving or changing. I think it'd be awesome. And yeah, dude, by like 220, 230, this thing is it's really just, it's like a worm in your brain. 230, these tiny little kind of noisy, found soundy kind of little bits. I think they could be shined up a bit. And it's up to you how you do it. I would probably add just a tiny little bit of bit crush to it, with a fairly aggressive setting, say like maybe 6 bits and downsampled like 12, 13. Keep it fairly high up in that squelchy pitchiness, and then dial that back to like maybe 5%, 10%, something like that. So it's got just like a sheen on it. They're tiny little bits of sounds, so it's not like that is really going to ring out a whole bunch. It's just going to be there to kind of brighten up, make it a little more metallic. All right, Dr. Drop is saying, I'm Mr. Awesome. It's part of a project I produced in Hebrew. This song tells the story of a guy who goes to the dentist. The dentist drugs him up for an implant. The guy realizes that his dazed up state brings forth his talent as a trap artist. He's rapping out in the street and comes across his neighbor who gets excited about his rapping ability and suggests they team up. Then the two come across a producer who's eager to sign them on a contract. It's like a parody of modern trap music. That's awesome. Guy. All right, so let's click on this one. Ooh, and we've got sign out in the mix now too. Hold that thought. This says video unavailable. The uploader has not made this video available in your country. Oh my goodness. I will check my email and see if I have a different link. But before I do that, Nate is in the house. Welcome back, brother. Thank you so much for the continued support, dude. I hope you're well. I'm going to go chase this down in my inbox. Yep, same. Apparently, we need permission to play it in our country. If you can get that sorted and toss up a fresh link, I will be happy to click on it for you. Yeah, Zamerits. Sending the vocal across the speakers would really get in your head, right? Ooh, yeah, Towel Crush is great. Guy has a good point here. X for Delta Modulator, also free. Very good. And I will say that a lot of the bit crushers that come stock in DAWs are actually quite capable. Don't forget about tools like Guitar Rig. And of course, my favorite for stuff like this, for SAF especially, is Reaktor. And more accurately, I would say something from Boss for Mac. If you guys are not familiar with Boss for Mac, I'm going to pull this up for you really quick. So first, if you're not using reaktor, then you need to use reaktor. But second, check out Boscomac, Boscomac. Link in the chat. There's so many good things. There's so many good things here. I mean, we could talk for days and days and days about all of the free wonderful things that you can find for reaktor. But if an interface affects how you do things, then just go straight for Boscomac. You're going to find a whole bunch of really good stuff in here, for what it's worth. And SAF, the bit torsion or the Fortist, might also be good options. One's an animated distortion, the other one is a multiband distortion. Everything that Boscomac puts out runs in reaktor. Yeah, it does seem a little weird, right, Nate? 10 months? The pandemic has kind of warped our perception of time, I think. Ooh, some WY's refresher, huh? All right, so we got a fresh link from Dr. Drop here. There we go. Now we're in.
Hi. Hey. 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 Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Money, dick, vaginas. Money, dick, vaginas. Bling, מי זה שם? גובייניס. וואו, אוקיי. פזמון, איך עושים פזמון? אולי כזה. אני ואתה זה ביחד, זה שנינו ביחד. לא, מה אני עושה? אני לא אדבר שלי. למה אדבר שלי? בוא תשאל את הרופא שלי. אומר חרס לי, הוא ירדים אותי, ועכשיו נהייתי אסלי.
וואו, אח שלי, אתה טוב.
תודה.
אני השכן שלך, אבנר, זוכר?
לא.
וואלה. בכל מקרה, שמעתי את הראפ שלך ויש לך פוטנציאל, אני אעשה לך חיזוקים.
מה זה חיזוקים?
מה זה חיזוקים? זרוק לי מילים.
האישה הזאת שמה יש לה תינוק בן שנה. יש לה תינוק בזינזנה. יגדל להיות סנטנה. בינתיים שותה את החלב שלהם וזה מתעכל לו פננה.
זה נכון.
אחר כך הוא יגדל וכזה פתאום הוא יבין שהוא צריך להפסיק עם חלב. זה עושה לו שלשולים כזה. וכל שני על הידיעה התחלתי לחזור לרופא. מצאתי סיבות לעקור את השיניים כדי להמשיך עם הראפ. פקרתי את כל הבינה, אחר כך הורדתי שן. הייתי צריך הרדמה.
תראה איך אתה שר הרדמה,
מרגיש את הפש.
אוהב שאתה שר בהרדמה. מה אתה שר על רמה, בוא נשים אותך על הבמה. על הבמה.
היי, שם טוב ובישעת בנטלי. ראפר דנטלי, נראה לי כולם על הזה שלי. סילים ביץ', שמע מילים, ברודו, סבתא שלי, נצמא, בית לשתות. עדיין לא מבין איך שותים ככה. וואלה, איך שותים ככה.
שלום אדם, מתוק אני מפיק מוזיקלי פוקלי מומחה לשוק הלוקלי.
וואו, איזה תנוך יש לך, אחי.
מה? עזוב את זה, אני לא משחק משחקים.
This is great. I'm sure we'll probably get a DMCA for this and a copyright strike. It's hilarious though. And it looks like this has been out for a while, so I'm not sure what I can actually do in regards to feedback for you for this thing. But for future play, vocals like that, love a little modulation on the reverb tail. Kind of pushes the whole thing over the top. Loving the really supportive sine synths. Love it. Nailed the auto tune. And the freaking video is, it's freaking hilarious. Yeah, Guy, you know, the bow special has come up a few different times recently. Oh, Nate, I totally missed your question. How am I? I'm doing all right, dude. Been freaking busy. I'm a little tired today. I got probably too many irons in the fire at this point. I think it's safe to say. Yeah, just been working a lot on the various projects. And unfortunately, I can't really talk too much in great detail about a couple of them. So I'll just leave it at that. Yes, Tom, Kodo is amazing. And oh no is right, Paul. It is another rabbit hole. Yeah, Snowflake as well. Yep, they're all great. Everything he's ever put out is great. I love that you guys, a couple of you were just introduced to Bosco Mac because that's a wonderful moment. It's a wonderful moment. Dr. Trop, Mr. Awesome, this is it's a great track. It's a great track. You are definitely welcome back to drop links here anytime you like. Don't forget, if you are currently subbed to the channel, go grab your free sound pack this month. It is Trinkets. Whatever you're inspired to make with it, come back and submit it by the end of the month. Get more free sounds and awesome things and all that kind of stuff. Maybe safe from TMCA. Dr. Drop's label is the dentist. That's awesome. Nate's saying, yeah, man, I feel ya. I told myself I'd give myself a major break, which I still am, but trying to cram in a bunch of studying in case I get that call back. Dude, my fingers are crossed. Definitely keep me posted. Send me a message at any time. Isn't it funny how we fool ourselves into thinking these things, Tom? Like, this one's my little secret. Nobody knows about this. Oh, Paul's leaving for 10 minutes to go make us a video. I like it when he does this. Sign out is apologizing to our ears in advance. So let's click on this and see what happens. Here we go. Okay. This is great. Is there some trinket stuff in here or no? I'm curious. This is some seriously awesome wonky heat right here. Textured ear candy. Just lots of really good stuff to love about this. I think my favorite part about this entire thing is the dynamic range in the volume, the frequency use, and the stereo field. And I think it's just great. And I love this brilliant maneuver. 152. It's just deadly. It just gets you to lean in. It's awesome. Love it. I heard a lot of really great ping pong rapid tremolo panning, but I think what this thing could actually use in regards to an addition, it might be the only addition that I would do, are actual flybys. A couple of those pitched elements, a couple of the like stuttering Foley bits, if they were actually like oh man, very cool track. Guy sums it up. It's like trying to walk down the street when you've been drinking mead at a Celtic festival all day. It is very specific. Oh, Wipeout soundtrack, huh? Yeah. Had Nordic mead. It's no joke. 14% for a beer. It's not beer. It's mead. You're in Norway and you're a giant, so it makes sense the Nordic Asian giant drank mead. Oh, sign out. No. Thank you for sharing. It was very awesome. Go to a Celtic festival. You'll know what I mean by the end of it. Well, Guy, to be fair, she's from Portland. So the city with a brewery on every block. Okay, is there still more? Because I think I'm going to go grab a little coffee, and then we're going to roll through some random contact libraries, I think. And we're going to manipulate this gate from Zion Park. And check out these ears. Check out these ears. This is what my ears do when I hear sounds that I've made in something. You know, just randomly listening to some playlist or something, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, wait, what's that? Oh, that's one of mine. Hey, I like how they use that. That was cool. Portland is like the new Wild West. Oh, geez. Man. Yes, the gate. Tom says, I'm part trinkets at this point. Oh man, you're gonna have to start updating some kind of lineage document for us, Tom, so we can keep track of all of it, dude. Heidi. I went to a festival where people were fighting with styrofoam swords and stuff. We should evolve ears like that. People producing music should be able to say, ooh, wait a minute, hold on a second. Ambisonic opportunity here. You guys tune into that one back there? Oh, man. Oh, man. Yeah, Tom, I think you might have a discography of trinkets. You know what? If you can't actually finish all of them, in that window of time, you could at the very least make the craziest medley. Just one into another, into another, into another. Or perhaps it's just going to be the craziest, like, continuous drop, segue, transition mashup. 30-second drop, 30-second drop, 30-second drop. All right, I'm going to go get coffee. I'm going to come back, and we're going to transform this. It's just super juicy. I'm looking forward to that. All right, let me just put this on. And then I'm just going to click on this. And then I'm going to walk out that door and get coffee, and I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. All right. Coffee has been procured. Let's do this. Tom is saying, think he caught me at a perfect transition of juicy creativity, amazing samples, and hyper focus on moving to LA from Norway. When is that happening? You added to the trifecta. Well, thank you for bringing us along the ride. Okay, before we transform this gate, we're gonna click on this thing from Paul, and then we're gonna just kind of create for a couple of hours. Okay, I think that just finished downloading. Let's kill this noise. All right, so this one is from Paul. Remember, Uncle Chrome on YouTube. So if you like these videos, you can find more there. Okay, so we've got samples split up between two different instruments in the rack. Okay. It is VCV. Thank you for the follow. I do appreciate it. It sounds like we're walking through like an underground passageway of some kind. I'm loving those little squeaks in there. Nice fade on that. Some madness. Turning it up for you, guy. It is a little quiet. Awesome. Yeah, I like the auto fade that they've got on that mix master from MindMeld. Thomas saying that sound reminds me. Chris, did you know that Vital has a shepherd tone distortion on it? You know, I've heard this and I've read this, but I have not actually taken the deep dive into it, honestly, which is funny because I've reviewed sounds and whatnot. I haven't put anything out for it yet, so I have not actually done the deep dive. But maybe we'll do that on the stream this very month. We've got it. All we have to do is play with it. All right, so we were about to bring in a movie here. Oops. I don't think we need the movie, just the audio track here. Oh, oops. Grabbed the wrong one. All right, cool. So here is the sound of our gate. All right, so we'll turn that down a little bit for you. Yeah, turning mutes to fades is brilliant. Absolutely. Vital is your all-time favorite. Man, it is so difficult for me to pick favorites in this game. All right, well, the first thing we're going to do all right, we're just going to copy this down. So we're just going to keep this first one up here. And actually, let's copy this down another time. Let's do some chops first. Maybe a couple of big ones for Les Creeks. One here. And this might be an interesting spot here. I think I might want that one separate. Yep, we're definitely going to take those. Just going to do a quick and dirty here. Oh, oh, ho, ho, ho. Ooh. Oh, man, that's great. Let's cut this here. Here. Oh, man. Gold. We can get these into trinkets. Cymbal crash. All right. Some really good stuff here. Okay, I think I got them all. So we're going to take, not these first two, but we'll take the rest of these. And let's just, before we do that, let's just go ahead and toss a fade curve on each one of these. Just like a couple milliseconds is all. Let's take these, and can we just drop these into a, yeah, we can. All right. So we could do a drum machine on one of these, make a little beat. We can toss them into a sampler. Let's do a drum machine. Kind of interested to see what these things will sound like on some pads. Okay, we'll save that. This one will be our drum. And let's bring these guys. Let's bring this one. Let's bring this one into alchemy. Maybe we'll do a granular on this one. I'll call this one and let's bring this one into alchemy, but let's do spectral on this one. And these, if we bounce all of these, we should be able to bring them directly into Absinthe as well. Let's get this thing saved so we can do this properly. All right, so Rusty Gate, and I think we'll get into some kontakt stuff today too. All right, before we start taking those, let's get back to this one really quick. I'm going to stretch this one in a speed algorithm, and let's make it kind of drastic. Masters Bayegi, if you are still in the room, I hope you have a good day, man. You take care. I'm going to stretch this more. Can't break away. Okay, now this deserves a little low-end love here. Okay, I want to drop that reverb tail by like 4 times. Let's push this out. If that's a 42, we'll just see. Bring back our low end just a little bit. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I want to hear none of that dry. Some creepy ass stuff right there. All right, I'm going to come back to that. Let's go back to this original one here. Ooh, yep. Okay, and one more time. This one. Tempophone, nasty stretch. Some great sounds right here. Mike the Geese! I'm well, how are you? This right here. Holy hell, this whole last little sequence in here with like this hidden bit of sub. Let's just take off this. Man, just those natural sub frequencies in there. Resistors are futile. This little bit right here. Resample that into a gnarly bass. Tom, Flat Out Cricket, this is a fantastic recording. We should just send this around. We'll call it Gate. You know, like Watergate and all the other gates. Everything's a gate these days. We'll take we'll take this gate recording. We'll just pass it off from one channel to the next, and everybody pitches their sounds into one folder, and we release a little community gate party pack. I don't even Zion Gate. The Zion Gate pack. I can see it. Used in beat battles across all of Twitch. Going back to our granular gate inside of Alchemy, this one is just the first screech. Holy Gates of Space. Oh my. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Let's blast these things out to the side here. Uh-huh. 2. Bear with me, looking for something here.
We've got two sets of CSV files representing the data that's been inverse LPC.
Mm-hmm.
Sound.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
We've got two sets of CSV files representing the data that's been inverse LPC.
Yeah. Okay, I understand what you're saying. Yes, let's use you. You never know what you're going to get from a rusty gate. Zen Papa, thank you so much for the follow, for being here. Yo, what up, Lab West? Thank you so much for the resub. I appreciate it. How are you today? Rusty Gates and the Swingin' Chain Gang. Zion Zioff. I think we hit a sweet spot for Saf. Lab West saying, thank you, Chris, for contributing greatly to my last 7 months. You are welcome, dude. Don't forget to grab your free sound pack this month, dude. Go over to the Discord and grab trinkets. It's the free pack this month. And circle back and drop off whatever you make with it and get even more stuff. Yeah, this one's definitely for you, Saf. Right here. All right, what else can this gate be turned into really quick? Oh yeah, we've got a spectral thing sitting here waiting for us. All right, so this is the second creek. Something like that. And this one was brought in as a spectral. So we can actually go in here and play around with that. Let's set this up. We've got maybe a little fade on the left and the right. And we'll do a little back and forth. Let's see what happens if we take a little bit out of the middle here. Zen Papa, thank you so much for the sub. I do appreciate that. Don't forget, you can subscribe with your Prime membership. A lot of people probably picked up Amazon Prime this week. Aren't they doing like a... Don't they like ask everyone to worship them this month or something? This was a rusty gate, right? Yeah. What happens if we go back in here, go back over here? What if we go like a down sample and a mech? Yeah, something kind of unsettling and awkward like that. And then maybe if we run this through a mech right after. All right, so this is series. And then fade this into number 3. To bring down our amount here. All right, Bit Crusher, let's do your thing. That's actually not quite what I was hoping for. That's a little closer. If we have our flute up here yet. That's pretty close. This kind of fits in nicely. I had no idea that Damien was going to throw this at me today, obviously. But this kind of fits the kind of conversation that I was hoping to have today, which is we need unique sounds to make things come to life. And actually, you know, stand apart from the rest. It's not always like, it doesn't need to be like really weird or wonky. They just got to be unique, right? And so I was thinking that maybe one of the areas of focus this month, especially as so many people are playing with something as flexible as trinkets, a big chunk of our focus could be on this concept of, well, how do we get unique sounds into our arrangements and projects quickly? And where do you actually start looking for those things? And what kind of sounds work with different types of moods, right? We definitely hear from a fair number of people that are talking about, you know, struggles with generating mood, with creating mood, whether it be in atmosphere or undertone or whatever. Right, it's not here yet, Paul. Prime Day is coming. Yes. Yes, yeah, exactly. This is not Kontakt though, Alchemy. But yes, over a few different octaves. Yes, wavetables. Anyway, so sampling stuff out in the field is one obvious and amazing way to arrive at more unique sounds. But I think a lot of like old instruments and instruments that were captured in not so great recordings or put together into contact instruments by people that were not experienced doing so. Stuff like this, like these oftentimes sound like things that a lot of people would avoid, right? They don't want these kind of problems in their mix. So that said, I think it's pretty easy to agree that a lot of people gravitate towards pristine recordings, accurately tuned instruments. And there's been this massive focus over the past many years in the software era where emulation is like this pursuit of perfection of some kind. But when you sit down and you really like dig into what attracts people to listening to something 100 times instead of just once, a lot of times it's because there is something specific about the sounds that they're tuning into that they just can't escape from. Like sometimes it's a catchy melody, sometimes they're meaningful lyrics, but oftentimes when the sounds are really unique and the choices following them are really unique, then you get this kind of perfect recipe for like full immersion while listening, one. But two, like the listener is transformed into such an active participant in all of this. They're no longer detached or disengaged. They're fully engaged, and so they're going to keep this thing on repeat, right? And it's kind of what we all want with this stuff that we're pouring so much into. So my question to everyone this month, I guess, is what kind of imperfections do you chase in your music? What are you intentionally leaving imperfect? And how often are you actively seeking out imperfection in the source sounds, right? Or the uniqueness in the source sounds themselves, rather than trying to take something that's fairly pristine and or perfect in some way, and then trying to mangle it or alter it in some way that is going to be perceived as unique. Yeah, it is a deep question, right, Paul? But I think that it's worthy of conversation because we all recognize a sound when it's unique, and a lot of us, it's why I posted that image of this GIF in the Discord of like these ears, like, ooh, yeah, what's this? And everyone can agree, it seems, that there are sounds that just stand out, right? I think it's part of why Trinkets is so popular, right? There's a lot of very familiar stuff, but then there's also some stuff in there that's just like, what is that layered with that? And how did it move like that in such a short period of time? And stuff like that is really pleasing to the ears. But I find personally that a lot of people steer towards these unique sounds with their percussive elements as source sounds. But for a lot of the tonal and like melodic elements, they're kind of starting from this state of perfection, and then they're kind of going weird from that. So yeah, I just wanted to approach this from the inverse, basically, right? Start with something that's really unique and different. And this actually even came up in a team meeting yesterday. We were listening through some stuff in inventory, and someone says, why is there so much texture and tension in these strings? I can't get my strings to sound like this. And I listened to it, and immediately I thought of the Stroh violin, which I'm pretty sure is exactly what we had just heard. But anyway, this is an old violin-like instrument that also has a bell of a horn. And it's a very interesting kind of sound. Here's a Museum of Fine Arts. Ugh. I hate being sent to Facebook. I don't want to be on Facebook.
Hello everyone, I am Georgiana Radulescu, violinist at Raven's Heart, and I have a master's degree in performance at University of West London. Today I am happy to present you a new type of violin made by Hora Musical Instruments Factory in Reghin, Romania.
Obviously, someone has taken this thing to a new level. I was not expecting that. I want the imperfect good stuff. Maybe we'll just dig in. This comes up in conversation, not just in this channel, but also on Damien's channel when we're talking rattly and raw, and like why really good producers spend so much time trying to find things that stand, truly on their own. Let me just find my drive really quick. And find this thing. I think it's Impact. Yeah. Let's see if this thing still fires up. Squirrel! Shane, welcome back. So instantly, right, like you could reach for a violin, right, which is great. It's a good choice. But if you're wanting that thing to stand out, then there's almost always going to be some more unique form of whatever you're used to reaching for, I guess is my point. And specifically, like if you're making anything on the artsy side of the spectrum of whatever kind of music you make, or if you make sound and music for game or film or television, then these things become just supremely important, right? Because character is everything in that world, right? And this is, I guess, kind of at the crux of this conversation. Just those little creaks in the strings and stuff. Anyway, you can get a lot more out of an instrument when it's inspiring to you. You know what I mean? And that there's like some sort of like textural quality to it that is kind of, you know, escapes the common vernacular. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly, Eric. And then, you know, when you choose to process stuff like this with types of tools that one may not expect, it's going to have more interesting little bits to grab onto. Obviously, these can be like experimental sounds too, right? They don't have to be like some ancient instrument that you've never heard of. Tried to take a walk with your kid, had to turn back, hurt their ears so much. Wait, what, with the cicadas? If squirrels eat cicadas, then our local stubs are feasting. Huh. Yeah, they like the sap, don't they? They like to suck the juice out of stuff. They eat granola. They're hippies. Oh, man. Eric, this one is from Impact Soundworks, I believe. And they make some pretty interesting stuff. Like, we could pull up another Another one of theirs. Sonic Ocean, Sonic Forest, Cinematic Synthetic Drums. Hmm? Really, Sign? There's a really long ad like that? Damn, dude. Paul, maybe you're onto something there. Like, nope, humans are still here. Back to sleep. All right, but we're talking about more unique things than just like synth drums here. So let's talk about magnetics. So you can record magnetic fields. So, instead of just opting for like a synth pad or something like that, actually reaching for something that is just completely different. All right, so these are rocks. This is something that Rich actually did. Richard Devine. He was out hiking, and I can't remember exactly where. It might have been Utah. No, Montana. Montana, maybe. Anyway, he came along this massive expanse of ringing rocks, which are like shale type rock that have tonal qualities to them. Anyway, these are rock, right? And like the information, the character lurking in these is just amazing. But people are always asking, like, hey, how can I find more unique drum sounds, like new hi-hats or new kicks or new snares or whatever? Like, I will oftentimes turn them in the direction of these types of things, right? Just take and bring your pitch up a couple of octaves, and you've got all sorts of like little tinkly little things. Drop them down a bit, and you get these really cool kind of wonky perks. Anyway, they're super, super badass. So just kind of shifting the mindset a bit, right? I'm a big fan of Tone Hammer. Back in the day, Tone Hammer, they split eventually and they became ADO and Sound Iron. But prior to that, for many years, they were probably my favorite sound design duo that was actively releasing sampled instruments at a high level. And they were just constantly playing with having fun. Imagine that. Coffee pot. Hey, 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 look at that. Thank you, Tom. Sign out. Welcome to the fold. Go grab your free sounds. Get inspired. Make something awesome. Come back and submit it. Coffee pot, right? I've got one that's just a candlestick, a library or a contact instrument that's just a candlestick. Just really fun stuff. Oh man. Oh, I forgot about Gnome Hammer. One year for the holidays, they had this little garden gnome that went around and did nutty things. This is great. This is a fireplace door. Man, just constant inspiration, this kind of stuff. This is just wood. This is just kindling wood next to the fireplace. It's ridiculous. This is true, sign out. In fact, what you're describing here, right, rock strike, short time delay with lots of feedback, and you get it into a tone, and that's a comb filter. That's how you make a comb filter. Still lurking, Tom says. Oh yeah, and you know what? We should actually dedicate maybe the next stream. Maybe our next stream we'll dedicate to Rattly and Raw and feedback or something, because they're fantastic. Sign out saying I'm going to start streaming soon enough as well, and I'm going to frequently send people over here. Oh, nice, awesome. I do appreciate that. Triple Spiral. They have some interesting things. It's been quite a while since I've played with any of their stuff, though. Magic Doom Cloud. Embertone has some interesting ones. Like a canjo. That's when you connect a string to the inside of a can and you pull the string taut, and then you run a bow across it and play it like you would like a violin or something, or canjo, banjo, right? So you can pluck it and whatnot. So this is a string in a can. And why not use the basketball court for your reverb? Why not, right? But like this right here, scoring a scene with this is so much more unique than going for a banjo or a guitar, right? Like total like indie film documentary kind of vibe. These all take just a second to load. I've got them on a external over here. Bedroom. Bathroom. Studio bedroom. A den. Basement. Wow. Soften it up a bit. I'm a big fan of like toy instruments too. I also like taking things out of their normal range of tuning. Kitchen stuff. Readily and Raw has a really good kitchen one as well. Embertone has a good kitchen one, of course. They're pretty great. Where do you guys go for, like, what kind of, instruments? What kind of instruments are the ones that you're most drawn to in sample libraries? I'm also just a huge fan of just using the entire rack space of Kontakt. Hey, what happens if I bring in one of these too? Bring this one way down. Hey, that's gorgeous right there. Oh, this right here. Yeah, piano book is good for this. Absolutely. Ooh, Paul. Yeah, dude. Rec Audio Pro. You know, I know why that sounds familiar. They still hit my inbox regularly, actually. I think. Paul, I'm just getting to your comments about making a multi. Yeah, absolutely. That's what I can never stop doing when I open up Kontakt. Cue Rusty Gates. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And Tremi is saying, what's more important, releasing more music or marketing more? From what I see, it's often more who you know. And I think it just comes down to your goals, you know? If you want a lot of eyes on your projects, then you need to get it in front of a whole lot of people. The law of averages will shake out in the end, right? A certain percentage of people will be into your stuff. You just need to get it in front of more and more people. The problem here is that if you're spending all your time hustling, then you're not spending much time creating. It's a balance, right? I would agree with Paul on this one. Like as a creator, I think that creating is the most important thing. There's many, many different ways to make a career out of music and sound. To be perfectly frank, you do not have to release a darn thing into the public realm where people know you as an artist or whatever. You can make a good living kind of behind the scenes, right? You can do ghost production, you can do sellout work, you can do all sorts of stuff, or buyout work. If you're trying to make a big splash as an artist, there's always a process to it. There's always a process. Like the things that you see on the made-for-TV movies or whatever, the whole, oh, she has a lovely voice and someone walked into the cafe where she works and heard her and the next day she's a millionaire. Like those things, I'm not going to say they don't happen. It's just not real life. You know what I mean? It's just not a realistic thing. I think that if you're releasing or if you're finishing, if you're completing things, then you're going to feel accomplished, like Paul is saying. I think that's so much more important. Released a couple of songs, streamed a bit, doesn't seem to be moving much. I see others shoot by me and they're like on fire. Yeah, well, and herein lies the other thing is how is the stuff released, right? And then how do we get the word out about it? This is like other people might have management or labels behind them, right? Which are getting their songs into playlists on Spotify and stuff like that. So there's a discovery element to it. There's just so many things that could play into it, right? The genre that they're producing in is more popular potentially. Which makes it a bit more shareable, right? I mean, it's easy to share someone's stuff, but to actually see it shared and then shared and shared from there and shared from there, it takes, a certain kind of, what's the right word? Environment for those things to take place, right? Yeah, you got to use contacts, Samir. It's gotta. Yep, Confucius, very wise guy. Yeah, and this one can be a really one hard to hear. Blackberry Jam Studio is saying patience. If your stuff is good, eventually it will be recognized. And there is some truth to that. There's also truth to if you want something to happen, you need to be as proactive and active as possible, right? That means allowing other people to know about what you're doing, right? So going on to other streams, getting feedback and stuff like that is good, just for the simple sake of exposure. But even more, like you could actively give away some free downloads of your music, right? Like imagine this, you make a lot of really great granular stuff, right? What if you were to take the sounds that you're developing out of your source sounds in Dremia and release a sample pack, and every single time someone buys that sample pack, they get a free track from you, right? Like a little free MP3 or whatever, right? With a link to the entire album or whatever. You could easily start to build a small following like that. But there's got to be a certain level of engagement, or I think that it's always just kind of a wish. You know what I mean? Eric says, I seem to be one of the few who prefers Halion to Kontakt. GUI is so much easier to work with. I would agree that the GUI is easier. Less things out there for Kontakt pre-made, maybe, is all it is. Zamerits, I agree with you here. I care little for popularity. In Dremia, yeah. Saf likes the Halion. Zamerits, I've spent so much of my time behind the scenes, and you can accomplish so many great things that you don't get to accomplish when you're tethered to the obligation of output for fandom, if that makes sense, because you're living up to expectations and who are you serving and all of this kind of stuff. And I get that, like, it's a bit of a conversation. But one of the reasons why I like being on the back side of things is that I am involved in startups and the development of new tools, and I can actively contribute and help steer the direction of the entire industry in certain waves, and in waves. And to me, that kind of stuff is so fulfilling and meaningful, and it's checking a lot of boxes for me. And I'm always going to be creating. It doesn't matter, almost doesn't even matter what. You know, someone asked me why, after so many years, I would still do buyout work with people. And my answer is simple. The situation is complex. The answer is that that's the real business side of this business. Just a hard truth. That's where it is. I'm going to make those sounds no matter what. And am I going to hand those off to someone and get several $1,000s from them that day? Or am I going to make those sounds and then hustle to make those several grand, and then come back and find the inspiration to do it again? And it can all be a grind, right? And so for someone like me who I could care less about credit, really, truly, I really could. For me, it's just about the process of creating really great stuff and then moving the freaking line. Like, everyone I talk to in this industry is really upset that the old boys club still reigns supreme. And my question to them is, what are you freaking doing about it? When I work behind the scenes, at least I can do something about it on a constant basis. So. Blackberry Jam Studios. Part of success in the biz comes from creating luck, and that starts with the quality of your work and meeting people and being available for the right projects for you, not just the ones that pay the bills. Boom. Boom. Right there. Absolutely. Dude, there are so many things that I do that are like on the cheap or free or whatever because I want to. Yeah, subvids, you and everyone else. By the way, hello, Zach. How are you? Congrats again on finishing the album, dude. It's awesome. Looking at contacting labels, if not taken up, DistroKid might be the way to self-release. It's not just music, it's also almost any freelance work you find, and just a silly degree, not just a silly degree. Dremia says, I'm a robot. I'm not good with peoples. Peoples are scary. I hear you. But you know what? When it's all over email or whatever, which most of it is these days anyway, rejection is just text on a screen. That's the way I see it. Even programming requires some level of freelance or some level of past experience with writing personal projects. I get that, Saf, yeah. I find a lot of directors and have time to create the vision and are less public all the time. Yeah, exactly. For most of you, I disappear when I sign off, right? And who knows what I'm up to between streams. You just know that I'm really busy. Paul says freelance work is not entry level. I would agree with that. It's really hard to get a start with freelance. Usually it goes the other way. Just like startups usually go the other way. You don't just wake up one morning with an idea and have all of the business acumen and everything to get it out and scale it. Subvid says, what is a good deal from a label? What are your goals? What are your goals? If your goals are to get a lot of streams, then a good deal from a label is going to be one in which that gets you a massive amount of plays. If you're trying to get in on festivals, you know what I mean? There's so many different I would think, Zach, for the album that you and Sheila just made, I would think that, like, if it were me, I would just want people to actually buy the entire album and listen to it in the order in which it was created, because it's an experience, right? And I think that music like that means more to the people buying it, to put it very frankly. So if it were me, I would want a label that is experienced and capable of selling albums and not just getting a song into a playlist or something. Of course, they've got to be good at playlists too, but maybe they've already got massive followings on platforms like Spotify. So when you roll out something new, you're already in a really big playlist, right? Or maybe they have deep industry ties to radio or something, right? And you just remember that not everything is US or UK centric. That's tough. Blackberry Jam saying the old boys club will always reign supreme when artists have a poverty mentality about their value and don't want to do the work beyond making music to find their respective niche of success. Richard Thompson said, I play music for free, but get paid for all the shit that happens in between. Boom. Boom. Swamp, what's up, dude? How you doing, Mike? Good day today. He is saying labels are not necessary for dope artists, but they can be good too. Yeah, what BlackBerry is saying is very, very true. Like, you have to understand not just your value, but the value that you want for yourself eventually. And the other thing to consider is that perception is everything. And that nobody likes all swagger and nobody likes all like self-deprecating, right? Like, it's got to be somewhere in the middle. People want an artist to be approachable and relatable, right? And if the ego's massive, then there's no room for anyone else. And if they don't believe in themselves, then it's probably a bit too emo for most, And what Swamp is saying is also true, right? Labels are not necessary for dope artists, But if dope artists have no inroads, then it can be difficult for them to ever be discovered. And I think we've all walked into a local bar or club and seen someone that's just absolutely mind-bendingly good, and wonder, like, why are they here? Of all places, why are they right here right now? Subvids is saying, really, just to get it played by the folk who like this sort of stuff. As a debut, just glad to have it done. Yeah, full album purchase is the way. Yep. Swamp is saying, I like looking at a label these days as like one big playlist with a team of curators who are actively trying to manipulate the algorithms to suit their chosen niches. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think that we're in this streaming era. It's not going to change. You know what I mean? Um, I think that certain genres are more likely to have people purchase a whole album still. Classical, jazz, of plenty of different forms of world music. Um, it just gets a little bit tougher after that. Paul says, if looking to sell albums, got to build an audience doing shows. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's what I mean by you have to make yourself available for discovery. Like you have to be proactive and let the people know what you want. Right? This came up in a couple streams ago about the whole just ask for what you want. And my response was, yeah, that's great. And we hear it all the time, but you have to ask yourself for what you want first. You know what I mean? Like you have to tell yourself what you want first and like have that conversation. And then you got to get out there. You know what I mean? And if you don't like, Jim Morrison didn't like being on stage. And I know there's parts of being on stage that I enjoy, but I don't like the rest of the stuff surrounding it. But I love like playing in front of people. I love looking up and seeing people dance. It's a thing, but people wouldn't know me if I didn't get out there. So, that's really just the way it goes. Subfits is saying, by the way, if anyone needs mastering doing, OhmLab, Chris is your man. Well, thank you, sir. Andremi is saying, what if you can't do shows? Well, you can. They don't always need to be in the traditional sense. Like you're on Twitch right now, Andremia, and dude, you can totally do shows. Hey Paul, what's the is it Nick's Garage? We've got to be able to think of a couple of ways for Andremia to do this as an Android. Biskin, welcome. How are you, dude? Happy Wednesday to you. How can I get the algos to take my payola? Yeah, so Andremia, what Zameritz is saying is get your stuff out there in more places. So you do these Twitch streams, which is great, but to be fair, the Twitch streams aren't advertised or anything, right? And let's say that you put up on your socials that you're going live. So then who are on your socials? You see where this is going? So if you were to join a couple of groups on like Facebook or something like that, right? That were specific to, granular synth enthusiasts or something like that, right? Any one of them would find your stream highly entertaining. Because it's the same kind of stuff that they're doing and they're looking for ideas and they love hearing how other people do this kind of stuff. And you've got a really neat vibe over there. I think that's more what Zameritz is saying is like, if you blast your stuff out more and cast a wider net, then you'll get them. If you're just putting your stuff up on Twitch, export that stuff out to YouTube. Get it going on YouTube and then share those videos inside of these groups. You know what I mean? And that way you're at least putting it in front of thousands of people instead of dozens of people. And they're more qualified viewers than your friends and family, because let's be fair, friends and family aren't going to tune into you all the time, because that's what friends and family do. They go about their lives, right? But fellow enthusiasts will absolutely make time, 100%. Saf, yeah, I will see you soon. We've got a session today. Absolutely. Blackberry is saying you don't have to be the best singer or guitarist or producer or what have you. What you need is the drive to succeed, the willingness to learn, and the confidence to be disliked or maligned. Yeah. Boom. Blackberry, you're really nailing it. These are really, really great points to be sharing. Let's turn all albums into compilations and they'll sell better. Make your 10-track LP and then piece it out into 10 compilations and it'll do better, right? Biskin says, dude, I loved your Nova pack. Oh, thank you. Yeah, these like super hyper specific little curated packs, people dig them. And they're easier to retire. When I go through and I'm like, all right, let's take a dozen packs off the site. It doesn't feel as devastating. More suited to the Golden Shrimp Guild. Yeah, Andremia, check that out. The group Golden Shrimp Guild, they're on Twitch as well. Have you seen the movies Frank and Robot and Frank? I have an idea. Stream? Yes, I have streamed nearly 1,000 hours. I have over 40 songs out. I have nearly 200 videos on YouTube of my streams and my music. I'm on all major platforms and I'm active on social networks. And that is what he means. So in Dremia, if you have that much content, then you absolutely could pivot. Like if a really big goal right now is to get eyes and traffic, then yeah, this would be a good time to pivot a bit of your attention to the marketing side of things. And these don't have to be like advertisements per se. This is really just showing up in different places and making people aware that you have that kind of content available, right? Yeah. Blackberry Jam Studios says, 40 years in the trenches. I've seen the catalyst for a lot of failures. I bet. I bet. Yeah, and Paul is making the point that I'm making too, and that is Andremia. How many followers do you have? Because if what you're doing is broadcasting your releases to the same people every time, then you will see no growth. You will see zero growth. And this is where management and labels become helpful, because they're savvy and they already have networks built and whatnot. But if you're wanting to do this yourself, all you got to do is branch out. The power of social is not the people that you're connected to, it's the people that they're connected to and the people that you haven't connected to yet. The downfall of social in this as an approach is that only a fraction of the followers will see your announcements and posts. That's why groups become a lot more important, because groups run under different algorithms. Yeah, beat battles and competitions are a good avenue. And Dremia says, I didn't just make 2 songs and wonder why I'm not huge yet. I've put in a couple of hours. Oh yeah, way more than just a couple of hours and way more than just a bit of passion. You've got a thing. You've got a thing. Blackberry says, and one last pearl on trying to achieve success. Whatever height you ever reach, remember it is unsustainable for all but a handful. So be nice to the people you meet on your way up, because you're going to see them on the way down. Word. Word. Oh, hell yeah, Andremia. You are absolutely nice to everyone. I think everybody loves you in this community and on Twitch. Like everyone that I've ever talked to about you and your channel, they just absolutely adore it. So, you know, it's not like many people are getting rich off of people knowing about their music online right now. But those who are hustling in between the moments that we actually see them, those people are doing pretty well. Yeah, Zamertz is absolutely correct. Blackberry Jam Studio, would you like to toss some links up in the chat here? I have a feeling that people would love to connect with you in different ways. Maybe perhaps orbit around you to suck up some more sage wisdom. Yeah, I still like this idea of building up our community to the point where we could maybe a couple times a month do something that is worthy of a whole bunch of cheering. And then we take that cheering, and we actively solicit people in the chat on those days to cheer with real money, with bits. And we let them know what the intention is. We are building a fund here for our fellow community members who are releasing things. And then what we do is we make sure that everybody is releasing on one of these platforms that it's easy to get a rank on, right? Because sales don't actually happen to everybody, just a lot of streams, right? So what we do is we have a goal of I don't know, maybe $20 or $40 or something like that. I think it'd probably be fairly easy to scrape up, right? And y'all time your releases with us, and then we go in and we purchase that track a few dozen times right away. And boom, top of the list. How's that for some discovery? I've seen people do it on Beatport, plenty. And you don't really need a lot. I've known plenty of people that sit in that #1 spot after 10 purchases at the beginning of a day. It just kind of carries. I feel you, Andremia. You just want to earn your keep. I feel you. Yeah, Paul, exactly. And Andremia has the perfect answer because music and art is all he knows. Yeah. Blackberry says, I have pitched a book to my wife, who is a book publisher at a large company in Canada, and she doesn't see the value in it. I have no socials. You just follow me here. This is great. Where are you, by the way, Blackberry? Can you see a way to make $100,000 a year with music? Yep. Yep, I can. Buyouts. Fill a handful of briefs and you've got it. I mean, if you're a full package deal, if you can write instrumental, top line, the whole thing, then you're a quick turnaround, one-stop shop for higher level briefs. Made less than $200 in 6 years. Yeah, so that's something that is so flippin' typical. I've known lots of people that have tried like hell to make sales in music as a musician, and they can't keep fighting that good fight. So they're like, okay, well, I'll put out some sound packs or whatever, and that oh man, here's another big eye roll, because you've got to have some momentum going into this for that to be successful, and you've got to keep that momentum, and it's a struggle. It's hard. and then there's like 2 strikes against them, and now they're just like teetering on the edge of giving up. And it's like, oh man, if the goals had been slightly different here from the onset, then the outcome would have been drastically different. But I think humans, we tend to fall prey to our expectations over our logic a lot. West Coast Canada, north of Vancouver by about 1 hour 45 minutes. Nice. Excellent. I'm down the 5 in Portland. Yeah, there you go. NFT audio distribution and streaming app. That's that. I mean, you know, honestly, a lot of this stuff, like, I really think that we are knocking on the door of the new renaissance. I really do. And I think there's just going to be one massive pivot after another. And you already see the big corporations falling in line. I mean, there's massive, massive deals taking place behind the scenes right now, and everyone is angling to find ways to pay creators faster and to provide turnkey services for creators. They understand that people want to tune into creators and communicate with them in real time, and that this is very quickly replacing live television. And that has always been a sweet spot for the media industry and the advertising industry in general. And a lot of that is crumbling around them, and they're trying to find a way to make dollars off of these creators, and they're figuring out how. And now it's just up to the creators to recognize the fact that this is their window of time, right? And to find the platform that meets those viewers where they want to be met. And I think that things like NFT and blockchain and all of this are the infrastructure that our future needs. Sonica, and is that the name of the label that oh, I'm super distracted. That Noel is putting up. I know a really nice dominatrix that would just love you. It's awesome. Oh man. Pre-COVID, I made a living teaching percussion locally, just enough to keep the wolves from the door. Very lucky doing something I love. Music has definitely been my savior in more ways than one. That's Subvids. Zamerit's saying it's a passion and addiction for me. How do you give it up? Not sure how I would even approach that. I need help. This is a place for music addicts, right? There is no help from us. Let's just come together and be addicts together forever. BT is in on the NFT. Yeah, I've been looking at NFTs as a way to perhaps entice artists and labels. I mean, specifically, I would want to target labels more than anything for something like this, and networks for truly unique sound, period. You would own the rights to this sound exclusively. No one else in the world would. Blackberry. I just hang out with musicians because I'm socially inept, not addicted, just incompetent. Monetizing interest. Yeah, this is good. This is good. It allows you to hang out with us more. All right. Well, I need to boogie because I've got sessions today. I got to go get some stuff done. in Tremia. I hang out with music producers and sound designers, so once in a while I can say Ableton and then go quiet again. That's awesome. That is awesome. It's that time where I cue up some tunes and say things like, thank you for being with me here again today, and I appreciate you guys, and I hope you stay inspired between now and when I see you again on Friday. And other things like, if you're looking for private sessions right now, good luck, because it's like 3 or 4 weeks out. Yeah, and my queue is completely packed. So my apologies if you have emails in my inbox that I have not responded to yet. And I will as quickly as I can. Don't forget to go grab trinkets if you have not done so already. And please, 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 I don't care what you're producing. If you made something with trinkets this month, come back and submit it for our contest and you'll be rewarded. That's what happens. Blackberry. Later, go live your secret life off stream. You have baited our collective curiosity. Right? I will say this, Audio Design Desk is going to be way more than everybody thinks it's going to be. That's one of the things. And on that note, I'll leave you guys with this floaty little bit of loveliness here. And I'll see you guys on the flip. Start thinking about what kind of sounds you might be sending me that will end up in Trinkets Volume 2, by the way. We'll make that here. I'll see you on the flip. Guys, take care. Peace out.